Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called More Boss Nightmare Stories. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. Yes, you heard that correctly. It's free. Hallelujah. Something that's actually free out there. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure you click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link of today's show on all your social media to help spread the word. Now, let's get started. Being a boss is now more dangerous and challenging than ever. It seems more and more people hate their bosses, and this phenomena is only getting worse. Regardless of the work you do or the authority you have over people, it seems like folks are just more stressed than they've ever been in the past. They seem to want to lash out at their boss or their company all the time now. Sometimes they want to lash out and attack their boss physically. Sometimes they want to file complaints against their bosses. Sometimes they want to sue their bosses and their company. The number of incidents involving bosses or complaints against them and their company is growing. We thought it would be interesting to hear more stories about boss nightmare incidents, boss nightmare stories. So we reached out to some of them and asked them to tell us some of their stories anonymously. And they did. Did they ever? This stuff is amazing. The first story is from a boss named Dale. Boss Dale tells us that somehow in the last few years, employees have decided that working an 8-hour day is too difficult and challenging for them. They can't handle the stress of not being home and playing video games, but rather being, at the job working for 8 hours. Can you imagine that? 8 full hours. He now sees employees literally crying and complaining about having to work an 8-hour shift. They're being traumatized. They're, man, it's unbelievable when you hear this stuff. Somehow in our work culture now, he says that employees have decided that a standard 8-hour workday is just too unreasonable or too overwhelming. Another thing that Dale says drives him crazy is when employees bring their emotional support dogs to work so they can cope with the stress of having to work. Imagine that. You need your little dog sitting next to you in order to do your job. He says, I can't believe how this happened and how our work culture has begun to embrace this. How is a dog appropriate for the workplace, he says. What about when your dog goes to the bathroom and stains the carpet and the person in the office next to you has to smell that nonsense all day long? Why should your coworkers have to deal with your dog's smell? What about bringing a support pig or a support cobra snake to work? Should I be forced to allow employees to bring those in because they call them support animals? See, this seems like a deliberate attempt to disrupt the workplace, he says, in an effort to cause problems. The next boss is a woman called Mary. Mary manages a team of employees between 25 and 55 years old. She says she hates it when her employees go out for lunch and then come back smelling like weed. She says that she hates it and doesn't allow it in the building, but that her company is so desperate to find or hang on to employees that they'll tell her to just tolerate it. When somebody smokes off-site and then comes back smelling like weed after their lunch break. She says that weed is one of the nastiest smells ever for her and a lot of her other coworkers, and that having to smell employees who reek of weed just gives her a headache. Next, we have a boss named George. George says that sexual harassment claims have exploded in the workplace because there's such an obvious lottery ticket for the people filing these harassment claims. He says that simply complimenting someone on their nice appearance today at work can trigger an expensive sexual harassment suit. Because of that, a lot of men don't even make eye contact with women at work because they don't want to be involved in any claims. Another problem is meeting with someone in private. It's now common for men in meetings with women to have surveillance cameras running in the conference room or office just to prevent any false harassment claims. He says that it can cost $500,000 or more, oftentimes more, just to fight a fake or fraudulent sexual harassment claim against the company. By the way, he says it's not like it used to be when when you were presumed innocent until proven guilty at work. He says all it takes is someone making a false complaint and you can literally be suspended without pay or even fired before the matter is adjudicated, before it's investigated by your employer. That's how scared companies are of someone filing a claim. Next, we have a boss named Justine. She says that fraternizing or socializing with her employees like she was able to do in the old days is now out of the question. She says that employees hanging out together after work is a real problem for the company because if someone files a complaint of some sort about something that happened after work hours, then management gets really paranoid. She says, how am I responsible if coworkers go out for a drink afterwards, get into an argument, and then they file a complaint about it with the company? How is that my problem, she says. Why do I have to waste my time and energy on something like that? Aren't these people supposed to be grown-ups? In my humble opinion, she says, if you get into an argument with a coworker on the weekend during off hours, then that should be your problem. Why should it be my problem or the company's problem? The next problem is anxiety. She says everyone is trying to make anxiety an excuse for not working. They think that claiming to have an anxiety attack is like a get out of work card. They'll claim that there not being enough rolls of toilet paper in the work bathroom gives them anxiety and they want to take the rest of the day off to go cope with it. Man, this is a bad sign. I just can't see this improving the way this behavior is being encouraged. They claim that if they want to go to their car, which is parked in the company parking lot, and smoke weed on their lunch hour, then they should be able to do that. And that the company discouraging them from doing that on company property gives them anxiety, so they should be able to go home. Justine says that when an employee acts irresponsibly or crazy, then her first thought these days is that they're simply trying to set her or the company up for a fake lawsuit down the road. And you know what? Oftentimes, they are. Good luck. Thank you for watching. I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on the notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help get the word out. Thank you, and we shall talk to you soon.